own. But here we must celebrate the one that is now turning 91 in the next couple of days. And the reason why we want to have this conversation, and hence I have Charles Obu here, is for us to look into the life of this legend. Now, before I get into his story, which will be told better by the one who is closest to him in the person of Charles Obu. Charles, may we know, may we know who Charles Obu is?
Charles Obu is I'm a young journalist and a youth activist, and currently I'm the youth rep at the judicial panel on police brutality in Enugu State. So that is just the summary of who I am.
Okay. So what do you mean the judicial panel of inquiry that happened after the NSAS, right?
Yeah, the one that was established almost nationwide to look into cases of police brutality and extrajudicial killing as a response to the NSAS protest, nationwide protest.
Okay. So thank you very much, Charles. And I have seen videos and I have seen a couple of your posts on Facebook where it has to do with Mike Ejeagha. I have seen where you with Amarachi have visited yes, I have seen where you visited him with Amarachi. Now, can you tell us the story behind those visits?
Before 2015, I used to think Mike Ejeagha is normal. If someone were to ask me about Mike Ejeagha before 2015, I would say it was long dead. Not until Amarachi Atama visited him. Something of his other team, where in the course of making a documentary on Biafra, a documentary in Biafra, he visited him in 2015. That was how I got to know that Mike Ejeagha I used to hear about growing up as a kid was still alive. So since then, we've been quite close. We keep visiting from time to time. So in 2018, something happened. We noticed that he was having problems with the company managing his song. They signed the deal with the company in the 60s when white men were head of the company. Then in the 1970s, after the indigenization policy, which saw white men leave every of the company they were in charge of in the hands of blacks. So the company changed hands and got new management. Since then, Ejeagha began having issues with them. So we noticed in 2018 that the company took him to court. The case.
Charles, go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah. So we noticed something. In 2018, we noticed that Ejeagha was in court with his music company. They actually took him to court. He didn't take them to court. So they accused him of violating the terms of the contract. The case was in court for 13 days. They were taking for more court. We first of all visited the company in Lagos. So we had to talk with them to understand the details of the contract they just signed. So in the course of our investigation, we noticed that they signed a perpetuity contract. That's a contract that says the company will be in charge of his song forever. There's not going to be a time frame. It is just something they will continuously be in charge of to the end of time. But the sad thing is that the company was not paying Ejeagha as it ought to. I mean, month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, Ejeagha hadn't gotten anything. So you can't be careful and they do something. The chairman of the company out of court. We reached out to the government of Enugu State. We requested for full access to the Ministry of Justice because we needed lawyers then. So everything in place, the company agreed to settle out of court. So as we speak, the case is no longer in court now. Meanwhile, remember, they were the one who took Ejeagha to court, not him taking it. So the case is no longer in court. That is one. So after that intervention also, some politicians visited him. That was when the governor of Enugu State, if I visited him, his opponent in APC, Ejeagha, visited him too. They made some promises to him, which includes tarring the small access road leading to his house, which is named after him, Ejeagha present. So they made so many promises. The governor promised health care for him and his family, job for his children, his 2 children, and the welfare from time to time, in addition to the construction of the road. In fairness to him, he did all of the above, except the road which we are still working on. When him, so he does it before the man finishes his job.
I think for some reason your connection is affecting your audio. So I don't know if you might switch your provider. While you do that, let me play for the audience a video of the work you, Charles Obu, and your group, the job you're doing at his residence, how the resident was before you people got wind, before people intervened, and how the resident now is. So you have seen the videos, and that is the picture of how the house was and how the house now is. By their intervention, you can see that work in progress. Now, Charles, it appears that many people didn't hear you when because of the crackling noise with the audio while you spoke the initial time. But I need to revisit that again. So, can we again, for a recap, for those who didn't hear what you said before, can you quickly tell us why you chose to intervene in this matter?
Yeah, sorry. Ejeagha stems from the point. He is one of very few Igbo songmakers who never sang a praise of anyone, be you a politician, be you a community leader. No matter, it doesn't matter how close you were to him. He never used his songs to sing praises of anyone. So it stands him out. Secondly, he's coming into folklore modernized it and turned it into a brand on its own, into a special kind of music on its own. He made it a household name. People usually say Akoma Ejeagha because of him. So these two things endeared us to him. This is what these are the root of our interest in Mike Ejeagha. After he's not the only Igbo musician, but these two things are the reason why we keep visiting him.
So basically, those virtues, those virtues that we all um, are trained to have, and the virtues that we think that should embody the Igbo man is what you see in him.
Exactly. We see
Mm.
Mike Ejeagha as one of the main value system, Igbo culture, who Igbo are meant to be, and who Igbo we are in the recent world. We are not a people who do things we are not a people who does things in a way of no, there are ways of doing things. We don't in Igbo land, we don't praise somebody because he has money. We don't give you titles because you have money. We don't worship money. We worship character, worship you because of what you stand for. This is what Ejeagha represents for us. He taught us that in his songs. It was so easy during his time. It was fashionable actually for you to hear musicians then singing Chief or Akasogo, one of Igbo land. It doesn't make any sense. Praising somebody whose source of wealth we don't know, we have no idea of. This is why we have all manner of people using every fraudulent news to acquire wealth. Because when they make this money, that during his time, in his songs, he proved that if you make your money without the people knowing where they came from, you don't deserve to be praised. You don't have a title. It wasn't easy. As if you check his contemporaries, of course, I'm not going to mention him. Check his contemporaries. You notice that their songs, their songs are replete with names of big men, names of money bags, names of wealthy men in society. They praise them. They keep praising these men. Ejeagha never did any of that.
So, would it be fair to say that Mike Ejeagha was a revolutionist because he actually was protesting the decadence in the society without attacking anybody? He went on to say, okay, I'm not going to do this, even when everybody was doing it. Everybody was doing it to make money. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to do the writing, play music, tell our stories. Because one thing Mike Ejeagha has done in the last 50 years of him playing music is to tell the Igbo story. Will you agree with that?
That's the truth. He for us. He always makes us Igbo. Not what we have these days. He's that person you look at and you feel proud, you feel happy that this is who we are. Otu a ka anyị na-adị, otu a ka anyị si adị, otu a bụ ihe anyị eji mara ndị Igbo. Ọ bụrụ ọcha gote. This is who the man embodies for us. Each time we look at him, we see that core Igbo value system. This is why we keep being closer. This is why we keep going to everything we do for Ejeagha today. It's not because he can't do it for himself. No. Achebe told us that when a man invites his kinsmen for feast, it doesn't mean the kinsmen are dying of hunger. No. It is because of the joy in Bible. So what we are doing for Ejeagha is not because Ejeagha is such a wretched, beggarly old man. No, he's not. We are proving to him that we appreciate his services. We appreciate him standing out far away from them. We appreciate him representing which makes us Igbos. We appreciate him being different from some of them. We are happy that he is to put the culture of any harmless, culture of praising people, source of word. This is what we're doing.
That's a very fantastic response there, Charles. Now, can you walk us through in the last couple of weeks the things you have done and the things you plan to do, and when is his birthday, and how do you want others to come in and those that might want to appreciate him? Because at the age of 91, I tell you, there is no other living legend that we can think of now aside him. So, are you still there?
Yeah, of course, I'm here. Yeah, I got your question. In the last couple of weeks, my co-planner, I'm in this with Amara Chatham, by the way. She and I initiated this idea of honoring the music legend, Michael Ejeagha. So in the last couple of weeks, she and I have been able to repaint his house, fix the windows, all the nets were changed, the entire net. Paint the rest with oil paint, paint the we painted the boy quarters and the face. That's the outside fence, as well as the floor. You can see the floors there. But we are not done with the floor. The other end, the far end, the boys' quarter is still on. Then we are working on the as we speak, as of today, we are working on the toilet inside. In fact, we're working on the interior inside. Most of the things inside are, but these are not the things we feel comfortable showing videos of. Then our work now, what we want to support now is outside. We feel as if we are holding the birthday, which is coming up on the 4th of April, Easter Sunday. We do not want to take it to a faraway place. The giant will be 91 come Easter Sunday. So we feel that at that age, such a person ought not to be dragged out of his house in name of honoring him. No, it will look like a burden. So we decided to do it in his compound. So support now is the compound, the outside compound where you're looking at now in the screen, on the screen. It looks quite untidy, very dirty. I mean, the gutter side. So we would like to do something like floor, some kind of concrete, cement, sand, stones. So the entire floor look quite neat. This is our major focus now. We need to shift those drums you're looking at, those water tankers, those water drums we're looking at, pushing them towards the far end. Then
Charles, I think you're breaking again. I don't know if it's because of your internet connection.
hello?
It's indeed.
Are you with me?
Yes.
So
I am with you, proper. But it is indeed very difficult to hear you. Your audio is really, really crackling.
My audio.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead now. I think your audio should be back now. Is it because of your Bluetooth, or I don't know? Maybe because of your Bluetooth.
See if I can do something about the audio. Yeah, is audio.
Anyway, you speak. We know. Speak again now. Let's see.
Yeah, the audio is it better now?
Oh yes, far better.
So I was saying.
Well, the audio is fixed, but it appears the internet
the audio is still bad.
No. The audio is good now, but it appears the internet is going to be the next.
I was saying we're holding the event in Enugu here in the Ejeagha's compound. How is internet now?
No, it's fine. Hello? Go ahead.
Okay. So we're holding it in his compound. We feel that at 91, he's too old to be dragged out of his house to go out there because you are honoring him. No, it shouldn't be a burden. So we decided to hold it in his compound. That's why in addition to what we've done, we're still soliciting for fund to enable us finish the compound. Because like now we're going to put the decoration where we're going to hold event is still untidy. Aside renovating the house, we also need to make the compound clean. So this is where we need much support now.
Okay. So from what you're saying, where you guys need support, and I understand you're doing it through your own NGO initiative that you spearheaded in founding, which is Leave No One Behind Rural Care Initiative. And I like the name. You know why I like the name?
Well, hello. We are trying doing this because it's not my personal idea. It is our Amarachi Atam and I. So we are doing this on social media. We are doing this as a joint. It's not, we're not using any.
Go ahead. We can hear you, Charles.
Yeah, I was saying something. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, I was saying we're doing this as a team. So we appreciate every form of support. If the person giving us support feels more comfortable, come to Ejeagha's place, we appreciate it. If the person feels comfortable, boss cement, good we need for the floor, we appreciate it. If the person feels comfortable donating sand, anything, whatever the person wants to. If the person wants to bring what he or she is donating physically, or pay for us to go pick it, or pay so it will be brought down to the place. So it's not just, I'm just saying we have alternative to somebody must be comfortable giving money. If you have any contact with people selling cement, if you can buy us what we need,
Okay.
we perfectly appreciate that.
So thank you very much. I think for the benefit of those who might not have understood the whole thing he said, because I think his audio is still a major issue here. What Charles Obu is saying is very simple. If you feel comfortable buying cement on your own, delivering it to them at the site at Mike Ejeagha's house in Enugu, that's very fine. If you feel comfortable buying sand or stone for the floors, or if you sell toilet fittings and you want to donate toilet fittings that will go into his, for his house, or if you feel that there is any way you can help, hence the reason why we're having this conversation, that we must, as a people, learn how to, give honor to those that are our legends. And I bet you Mike Ejeagha is one of those. In my worldview, if not the greatest legend of our time, that is still alive. That is still alive at age of 91. So we don't know how long he has to live more on earth. But I think we can celebrate him. We can honor him now that he's alive, as opposed to doing so when he is no more. So just once more, again, can from what you're saying, people can actually use the account number on the screen if they want to make donations towards Mike Ejeagha, correct?
Correct. They can. They can.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying they
can.
I'm saying they can. They can. The whole essence is we want to celebrate him while he's still alive. We want to change this culture of keeping quiet until somebody dies, and then we'll start writing tribute, taking over pages of newspapers to write tribute of how this person was amazing, how he was this and that while alive. This is the whole essence. This is what we want to achieve. So maybe why they are still alive, why they can still hear you and see what you are doing for them. Tell them that you appreciate them, why they are still here with us. This is the whole idea behind what we're doing. And we're not going to stop the Ejeagha. We are just starting with him.
It's indeed a very fantastic initiative, and I do appreciate that which you do. I'm also aware. There was a time I think we had that discussion.
Yeah.
You did build two-bed house for a widow. Was that? Can you tell us the story?
It's not actually, it's more than two now, but as then it was two. 3-bedroom flat for a widow in a community known as Njenje community. It's a Shienu village, Njenje community. On Kano West Local Government area of Enugu State. Then we did another standard one room for another widow that is has no male child. Her situation was quite pathetic. So we built one standard room for her. Ejeagha one, the community. We've done so many other things, but these are the then video you made reference to, which was covered by the BBC.
Mm. And not forgetting that, I must also thank you for your effort. If you remember, when Mama Veronica Alum, the woman that we covered here extensively here at Njenje Media, when her house was demolished in Enugu
Yeah,
because
yeah,
of
I
the
remember.
runway, you went there as well.
I recall. Mas, I think I should want thanking you for what that mama. Our vision was quite pathetic. The government wasn't paying attention. They paid attention, but they weren't willing to do anything. I was glad you did something marvelous. You went beyond lamenting, beyond blaming to actually doing something for that woman. What you did for her, it was not something anybody can actually thank you enough for. It is you I should be thanking. I recall all your effort. I remember how you went out of your way to make the universe to you. Let me not speak more than this. Thank
Well,
you so
thank you
much.
very much. But n'Igbo asị na okene kene ikenyụla ahụ okene ime n'ụlọ isi ya.
Thank you, Marcy.
So, and for the viewers who also still follow Mama and the update with her, I actually spoke to her a couple of weeks back, and sadly, I don't know if you know about that. Mama Veronica lost her only daughter. You know, she had only two children left out of
Oh,
the six.
oh, again.
So she lost her only daughter, and the lady, died leaving about five children. So the last time I
Oh,
spoke to her, she was in Lagos, trying to take care of the tender kids. I mean, it's a pathetic story because
oh,
it appears she was moving from fire to frying pan. I mean, losing now she only has, I think, one son out of seven children. I mean, it's an unbelievable. And to even think that when one looks back again, the last time I was in MN end of January, and you could see that even those her properties that were destroyed it appears that there are underground deal probably where it appears structures, shanty structures appears to be appearing there, and some people say that it's been resold. But what an injustice that in the year 2020, none of us could believe that something like that will happen to
yeah.
anyone we know. And
I touched her area a couple of days back. I noticed what you are saying now. Structure springing up from nowhere. The truth is that the level of things we do to ourselves, the level of injustice we condone is mind-boggling. This is not how people ought to live.
Exactly, and this is what we do to ourselves. You see,
To
and that's
ourselves.
why
That's what makes
that's
it
why
more
when
pathetic.
that's why when people complain, and that's the reason why I bring you on this platform for us to have this conversation and also ask others, please, in this noble cause of yours, to please support what you do. It is time we begin to pay due respect to our elders and to our fathers when they are still alive. Because when the person is no more here, we all begin to kill cows and everybody will go bring masquerade, bring the other one, everybody showing off. But now that he is alive is the time we can actually do that. Now,
It
coming
is.
coming back to Mama, and I said I will use the opportunity as well to say every one of you who donated money that time we used GoFundMe, who donated money through GoFundMe, and some of you donated money to her account directly. And that money has helped. I believe it's your intervention, all of us watching, our intervention then probably is the only reason why she still find the faith to stay alive. And I once brought her here, and you can see the amount of prayer she was rendering to every single one who donated. And you ask yourself, why wouldn't you be part of this blessing? And here is another blessing knocking on the door in the question of Chief Mike Ejeagha, the king of a a folklore music. A man, I will ask you this question. Charles, tell me, which of his music is your best?
Omekago. Opimu Fubori Omekago. Fubori Omekago Kawelebe. You know what makes it my best?
Yes.
Yeah, this man teaches us that in that song, what he was talking about was the consequences of you taking that which belongs to Mr. A and giving it to Mr. B simply because you love Mr. B more than I love Mr. A. Anything that is due to you, Mazi, as Mazi, ought to be given to you. Even if you are an Igbo, even if you are Hausa or Yoruba, give it to Mazi because it is due. Don't say because Mazi is not from my own side, it's not from. Just do right by everybody. This is just the summary of that song. I love it more than anything else. More than all his other songs. Not that those other ones are not okay, but this is actually my best.
That song, the summary could be, as you rightly said, Ebe Belu Ugo Belu. That is actually the concept, the core element of the Igbo worldview.
Perfect.
Ebe Belu Ugo Belu.
Our value system.
And that's what he sang in that song.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go political, but if we just oppose that in the political realities of today, I think someone may have to translate that song for your president.
Yeah, that is where we are. You take what is meant for A, give to B. You've seen it all. Anyway, myself, I don't want to go political too. So let's leave it at that.
You're suddenly running away from politics.
Yeah, I think we should leave politics for politicians.
Okay, in this conversation, I think my best of his music, I would say, is Nameza Batamenyi. Nameza Batamenyi. The man was he's a legend.
Ejeagha is a living legend. He's not a subject of argument. He's an iconic figure when it comes to his genre of music. I mean, this man made folklore became a household name. It's not something anybody. He thought, do you know when he was doing Akonego on NTA? Back in the days, most of us were not born then. It took a whole show. Akonego. This man would tell them stories, folklores of how they did this, how Ago did what. That was a whole show on its own. After doing it with the NTA, he did it with the NBC, Eastern Broadcasting Service then, as it was called then, before they became Ejeagha.
He was one of those that inspired me. I think I remember in 1999 to 2001, I wrote a couple of scripts then for the Nigerian Television Authority, in Tales by Moonlight. And those scripts that we were able to, those stories that we were able to formulate then were as a result of, because he can put you in a state where you begin to be imagining things. You can now come to a point of creating your own stories out of what he has, what he told of his music.
That's correct.
The man remains a legend to many of us.
That is the inspiration. He makes you want to do things on your own. He makes you feel like you don't need him to keep being there to teach you. You've already learned enough lesson to do these things yourself. Listening to Ejeagha song, as an individual, I don't need you to tell me that it's wrong to praise any politician simply because he's a politician. No, being a politician doesn't right to be praised by anyone. No, it is what you did. It's what you do with your position that gives you that right to be praised. Nobody needs to praise you because you're in office. This is what Ejeagha thought of us. Anyway, this is what he still should have because he's still alive.
Yes, you're very, very spot on there. Because at the end of the day, not many people would, if people wouldn't really pay attention, because all his contemporaries, from A to Z, they all at some point started praising people, and probably that's what led to the decadence that we now have today. Egombute. When you sit down with Amarachi,
you see people taking their bath in the river, women, men bathing in the river, believing that they'll become millionaires overnight just for many bathing in the river. As simple as that. And these people, they knew they were being recorded. They feel so pride. They feel so much joy in being recorded because they are not even ashamed. They don't even understand that this what they're doing is not who we are. I mean, they allow themselves to be recorded doing those things. And they go to their communities, they get crowned, chief, Ide, or Agbazuru, one of this, Odogu. For what? How do you make your money? Nobody wants to know.
Could it be that one of the reasons why when I say government's not restrictive of a particular state here, why people don't really want to so much identify with him, maybe because he didn't praise their fathers when their fathers were probably stealing, or maybe he's living a quiet life, because anybody that sees that video of his house in a very quiet area. So could it be that maybe because he didn't do that, that's why he's living maybe a secluded life today?
I think what I think, Mazi, I'm going to be very honest with you. Ejeagha, as a man, he's actually a man of humble. Humility is his thing. Naturally, he's that humble. It is just him. He doesn't left for him. Doesn't like even publicity. Doesn't like all this big stuff. No, he doesn't. But the government on their part, they have been performing quite woefully. That is just the simple truth. Not particularly about Ejeagha, but about their collective responsibilities as a government. So if they have not done what they ought to do, even the most basic ones, how should you expect that they should remember Ejeagha? Somebody who at least I have found quarter before a somebody who has not done the most basic thing expected of him or of his office. I'm not talking about the particular government, I mean government as a collective.
Yeah, as a collective.
They have not done a particular thing expected of them. Why should you expect them to think of taking care of a legendary icon? Do you understand the impact of Ejeagha's music? These people, they are the reality of Ejeagha. Ejeagha believed in you doing your thing, not praising anybody, not using your talent to praise somebody whose source of wealth you don't know. Government of these days, both federal, state, and local level, they believe in giving young boys 50,000, 100,000 for you to occupy social media, singing their praises, praising them to high heaven. Even some of them who couldn't give something as basic as hospital, schools to their people. You see them being praised. For what? What did they do? Show me their record. Check their budget. What they've done in office. You can't see. You cannot compare any government. If you want to, we only development indices. How you rate a government? Health, education. I mean, health, education, security, infrastructure. All of this transparency in governance. All of these things. Mention any government of today, be it federal or state level, that can score 20%. But go to social media, go to page newspaper, you see them being praised. Hey, His Excellency, this. What is that? What Excellency about? What's Excellency about their names? Nothing. So Ejeagha is just a different person. A government that has not done the most basic thing expected of them. You don't expect them to remember Ejeagha. Is it federal government that remember him or state? Ejeagha has been here for long. We've had successive governments, local, state. If Ejeagha comes from a place too. So, my brother, Lapoku, we don't want government to think of Ejeagha. Ejeagha is not their duty. We want them to do the basic thing expected of their office. Do that or form before you start thinking of Ejeagha. Do your job in office as a public servant. Finish that one first before you talk of do you next time.
Okay, thank you very much, Charles. There. Thank you. Now, before I let you go, what is the program of event that is planned for him aside, this renovation, and also obviously we are using this medium.
The program of event is.
Is he going to play live music? Is he going to entertain people? Does he still have a band? I mean, tell us more about him, because you are the one that sees him so often. I understand. Go ahead, sorry.
Aside my most important. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I think if you don't mind, you can disconnect the Bluetooth you're using. I think someone is saying here that the issue here. Someone is saying that the issue is the Bluetooth that you're using. I can hear you.
Okay, maybe I should get rid of it.
Yes. Remove the Bluetooth, please.
Okay, I think it's off now. I've taken it off.
Yes.
Is it better now?
I think much better. I think it's
Is it
quite
better now?
true. Yes.
Huh?
Yes, it is much better now.
Is it better?
Yes, it is much better.
Okay.
Now.
I was saying, first of all, let me thank my co-planner, this Amarachi Atama. Without her, I wouldn't have known about Ejeagha. It was actually, she was the one who brought Ejeagha to limelight in 2015 with her poetic documentary from Biafra War known as Biafro. That was the first time I was seeing Ejeagha after Amarachi Atama interviewed him and brought him to limelight. So she's my co-planner and partner in this. Then secondly, I want to thank our team of volunteers and sponsors. Most important people in this whole thing are young people, ordinary people on social media, giving us their 1,000, 2,500. These guys are the real MVPs. My should goes to them. And we have a team of volunteers. The program of event has actually been taken over by people who are volunteering their services. For instance, on that day, our decoration team, the DJ, the graphic design, the appearance, Ejeagha's outfit, that's his appearance from head to toe, his staff. Most of these things have been taken over by volunteers, people who are delivering their services free of charge. I mean, the decoration is going to be done without collecting a dime from us. The DJ, free of charge. Someone has actually produced shoes, chair, branded chair, special chair for him. Most of these things. So I am grateful to young people on social media, young Igbos all over the world, both old and new, for their support. These guys are the people who deserve my congratulations in all of this. So the program of event is that on that day, we'll gather at Ejeagha's compound. It's 11 a.m. in the morning. 11 a.m. in the morning. The date is April 4th. April 4th is Easter Sunday. So we'll gather at his place in the morning. We'll do the birthday. You know how birthdays are done. And present him with our gift and celebrate him because he's a living legend.
Now, is do you have is there any of these young musicians? Are you able to get any of them to come perform for him?
The thing is, what we're doing is we don't really see the need to go after anybody. Like, we've had volunteers who perform for him and his song. Just when his song, we don't see the need to approach them. What we're doing is celebrating. We feel that Ejeagha is not somebody you need to start going after somebody to plead with him to celebrate or do anything for. No, it is just free will stuff. So anybody who feels the need to come in can come in.
Okay, so, and there is, again, can you reaffirm people can come in and be part of the history you guys are creating in celebrating our legend? They can donate money and they can donate materials.
Or their services.
Is that correct?
Or their services.
Okay.
For instance,
what sort of services are you talking about?
Services like if you are an expert in tiling, if you can do concrete work, people can. We're also looking for cleaners. Most of this is we need the service for it. The tilers, the painters, if you can do floor work, you're also invited. You can come in. If you have anything you are selling, which you want to use to present to Ejeagha as a gift on his birthday, you can come in. Like the guy who did a customized chair for him. It's a local wooden chair, very beautiful work of art. It is what he does. His handwork, his art. He produced one for Ejeagha and gave him. The guy who did shoe for him, he branded it Ejeagha at 91. He did it for Ejeagha, especially I handed it over to him. The other one woman doing decoration, that's what she does for a living. So she's offering their services. We have some more photographers who are professional photographers. They are coming on that day to do photographing, do coverage free of charge. We are not paying anybody for those things. If you can give your services, whatever you do as a person, bring it on. If you sell stuff, you can use what you sell to present as a birthday gift for Ejeagha. Anything at all, just come in, get involved. This is not a one-man thing. This is a community service. We are celebrating our hero, a living legend.
Thank you very much. I mean, Njenje Media as well is doing their own bit by publicizing it to everyone to be
Yeah,
part of this.
like what you're doing now,
Um,
Mazi. That's what you're doing now. You're using your media platform. You are coming in. You are part of this. This is exactly what we want. We didn't come to beg you, Mazi, please. We didn't come to pay you, Mazi, please. Do it. No, you realize the fact that Ejeagha is a national hero, a living legend. So you came in on your own. You are part of this on your voluntarily. This is what we're doing, and this is what we're asking for.
and what we need to do is, I need to say this, and I keep saying it to people. You know, it is always easy when people say, "Oh, these people can't show this; they can't do the other one." This is our story. We own it. Ejeagha is our legend. We must honor him and we'll celebrate him. You know,
Bam.
one thing again we might do is for the viewers who might not be around the date the celebration will happen, we will endeavor to also get them videos of what transpired on that day. And once more, I would say for many of you who are viewers watching, if you could make your donation towards celebrating a legend, the account number is shown on the screen. That is EcoBank account number 36100211765. And I've been speaking in the last 45 minutes with the founder, Leave No One Behind, Rural Care Initiative, Mr. Charles Obu. And the reason, like one other thing I think I wanted to say it at the beginning, Charles, I like so much the name of your NGO, Leave No One Behind. Leave no one behind. And not only leaving no one behind, you specifically have gone to the rural care, those that need it most, where people do not, get to. It is an opportunity to have you in that which, in what you do. May I ask you, where in the Igbo nation have you visited and you felt like you can't believe it that somewhere like this exists? Can you tell us, is there any story you can share?
Mazi, there are too many of such stories. There are too many. Most of them are heartbreaking, to be honest. I mean, if you go to the rural communities in Igbo land, Mazi, you shed tears. Let me be honest with you. It's what you talk about in the north. It now not true in Igbo land. Yeah, we have the worst type of poverty. I think we don't have it this bad in Igbo land. Communities like I've visited communities like Ejeagha, Ogrishi is under Kano West Enugu State. I've visited communities like Okposi. Okposi is under Ohoza local government, is in Ebonyi State. I've visited communities like Amankala is in Abia State. These are interior villages, interior. I mean, you would forget, you be tempted to think there was no government in those areas. These are people who, if you see their source of water, if you see the way they struggle, if you see the way they suffer, if you see the kind of house people live under, you see the level of medical issues they have, my brother, I don't think you should get me started. The level of poverty in the Southeast is what. See, do you know there are young people we see in the villages that they are not in school. And you know why they are not in school? Because their parents or guidance cannot afford something as basic, as cheap as 2,500 naira school fees for most government schools in rural area. 2,500 naira.
Do they still pay school fees?
Of course, they pay school fees in all government schools.
So where has free education gone to?
Who told you they have free education? I'm speaking authoritatively. I have so many of them under my NGO. I pay school fees for have receipt. So this is not hearsay. I'm not telling you what somebody told me. I'm telling you something I'm involved, something I'm into. We pay school fee for people. We have receipt from those schools. So this is not hearsay. And I mean government school. And I'm not talking about private school. So we pay school fees, of course. But the basic point is this money, they stand just 2,005. Somebody's not going to school. Do you know in the villages, there are young girls using rag as menstrual pad? There are pathetic stories of poverty. People living in houses that think the moment you live there, the house will collapse. This is where they live in. Family. You can't go to farm anymore. Couple add that to the issue of herdsmen in farm. People don't no longer go to farm. Poverty is increasing. So see, we should stop deceiving ourselves. We should not stop being fooled by the pictures, beautiful pictures we see in township, in the cities. Poverty, the where you see real poverty is in the villages. Just you must each time you come home, you go to the villages.
And majorly,
You've seen them.
majorly these are in maybe in Enugu and in Ebonyi.
Yes, basically. This is where you see the levels that are quite unimaginable. I mean,
Yes, because
I could get you videos. If you can do this some other time, I could get you videos.
Please do. I think you
I will.
travel. You
I
travel
will.
to the hinterlands more than I do. But again, without sounding as if one state is better than the other, government in all of them are total failure and catastrophe. But it appears, from the descriptions you've given, that honestly, I wouldn't say I have been to every single community in Anambra State, but I might be very struggling to, might be very, struggling to say that there are such communities in Anambra. Not saying that others are not doing right, but somehow, because I remember in my community in Anambra now, you can barely see any touched house because people come together to build houses for people that are not even their kinsmen. Just do it, give them keys, that's it. That's something you've done to humanity and move on. But maybe that's more of the things that we need to do rather than, go only on convoy and run people over.
Of course, it is. I agree with you. This is actually a culture. This is why we're doing what we're doing. We need to lean more towards this culture of community effort. Remember, Sambakwe Airport was built through community effort. See, we need to stop depending on the government. We need to understand that we are the government now. Whatever you want, get down to doing it yourself. Start it yourself. Others will join you. Don't. It's easier to sit in your home and blame the government, blame this one. Start something on your own. The level of poverty in Igbo land is actually unbearable. So whatever you can do on your own, start it. If you are a wealthy person, you can look around you, your neighbors, people you can just give to each one or two houses. We can do this thing. Build one. Don't just keep blaming everybody. We know the government has failed. We know. There's no argument about that. You as an individual, if you are wealthy, you build houses for people. Look around you. You can pick one or two children.
Yeah, but
them in school.
There is limit.
Best investment is investing in people.
Yeah, but there is limit to what individuals can do. Let's take, for instance, you talked about the road or the street of the legend, Mike Ejeagha, is untarred. And,
Yes.
having lived in Enugu, you know how dusty and rocky the roads are if untarred. And only God will know the amount of dust that will be, because I can see from the pictures you showed, these were roofers, roofers glass. So these are not proper windows; they are not airtight. So I can only imagine how the bedrooms, the dust in the bedrooms will be.
That's
So
correct.
it's obviously individuals. There is limits to what we can do. Now you're trying to renovate the house, interior, exterior. But the road, that's where we still need the government.
Yeah.
Because the government has to. Government should actually, it's honestly, as a matter of urgency, give him that road because if it's in serious countries, this road is named after him. That road ought to have been done long, long time ago.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mazi. What you are saying is the truth because there's a limit to what individuals can. Like Atam and I cannot go and start constructing road. Wait.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
this is basically the part where the government must come in. They must come in. We are trying holding them accountable on that road. We like today, for instance. Last week we met with the local government chairman of Kano Enugu East, which covers Mike Ejeagha's area. We visited him. We met with him.
Now,
so we prepared
sorry, while we are talking, something came in here. You can read that from the screen. It says, from Ejeagha 17, Charles, my brother, I credited the account with 5,000 now for my own donation to Mike Ejeagha's birthday. And I'll say thank you very much to Ejeagha. Ejeagha has credited the account with 5,000 now that we are talking. And other people Also, for those of you who might want to use super chat today, every super chat we get on this platform today would be going to Mike Ejeagha's birthday. So, people, let's make it happen. Super chat. So, who's going to be the first person to engage us on super chat? It is always easy to criticize the government, to tell stories what is not working with the government and what the government is not doing. But here we have um, where we have the opportunity to make an old man happy. An old man that many of you in the chat box are saying, "Oh, I remember him. My dad used to play him then." I cannot tell you, I have a compendium of his music. There is nothing, there is no single album that I don't have. I have them on my Spotify, have them on my CDs, or is it the Apple Music Library? It's a legend, a music, you listen to it. Sometimes I wish I could recreate the Igbo nation and in the world views that is being shared in that music. The guy is a legend.
He
A
is.
legend he is, indeed.
He is.
A legend he is. So thank you very much, Eke. Eke, thank you for that 5,000 donation. So we would appreciate more people, please. Sorry. Okay. So Charles, I just said thank you to AK for AK-17, and again, you can eventually confirm the money that he said he paid in, and the account number once more for those of you saying, can you display the account number? So let's quickly display the account number again for those of you, if you want to be part of this epoch making, a birthday in the making. The account number once more is EcoBank 36100211765. And I am still online here discussing with Mr. Charles Obu, founder Leave No One Behind Rural Care Initiative. So, Charles, before I let you go, I don't know your final words to the people, and what regarding what is coming up, and maybe other projects that you might have you want to engage in the future.
Yeah, my final words to our people is simple. Let us sustain, because I won't be saying cultivate because we already have it in us. Let us sustain this habit of coming together to do things for ourselves. Let us sustain this habit of coming together to be our own government. The fact is that government as we know it no longer exists in any part of the country. This is a fact. We need to come to terms with it. If you look around you, what you can do to help your next person, do it. Don't wait for anybody. It's easier to blame. Do whatever you can to lift the other person up. This is what life is all about. Whatever you see that's going on in your community, mobilize people to come together to contribute money towards making sure you take care of the problem. Don't just sit there complaining. You're a human being for a reason. You are not an animal, you're not a tree, you're a human being. You have all the characteristics of a human being. You can do something, you're not invalid. So instead of blaming and typing, lamenting, can you initiate something? If you initiate, mobilize others, they will join you. Before you know it, you get it done. This is how we built the land of old. Community effort. You are aware of mass. We use community effort to build everything. People come together, contribute money to send somebody to school, and the community is back there.
Sure.
This is who we are. Let us reinvent that culture. This is my message to them. Thank you, everyone.
So thank you very much. As Charles Obuk rightly said, let us, again, it is not a culture we will say we would cultivate. It is already in us, as he rightly said. What we need to do is to reactivate that we go back to that. Again, the culture of Onyayana one near, the culture of looking out for each other. And that's how he mentioned it. We built the Imo airport and many things. I remember in those days, all the transformers in my community, the cables, the electric poles were bought by my parents and co. In our own time now, many of us are doing street lighting, street pavement, But sometimes, which is a discussion for another day, people then ask, if we do all these things, what will government then do? But we know that government is being run by cucumbers and carrots. Hence, we still going ahead to spend our hard-earned monies to do the things we do. And we cannot thank Charles Obu enough for this initiative. And again, my good sister, Amarachi Atama, for the collaboration with you in ensuring that the legend of our time is given a wonderful birthday. Nobody knows how long he's going to be with us here, but now that he's still here with us, let us show him love. Let us celebrate him and let us honor him. On that note, I will say thank you, everyone, good this evening for joining us on this conversation. Once more, I am still Mazi Ezoke.